Hi, and welcome back to the second part of how we create our truths and our realities. Last week we talked about the first on the list of 5 tools which we use to create our reality, called perspective. Which brings us now to the next tool that we get to use, which is called perception. What do we mean by perception? When I did a search on the internet, this is what I came up with. I'll show you a slide here. The definition is the state of being or the process of becoming aware of something through the senses, gathering data. So let's ponder this a bit. Let's start by naming these senses that we usually use to gather data. We have the 5 physical senses that we call sight from our eyes, hearing from our ears, smell through our nose, touch from the skin, and taste from our mouth. I know, I could already hear some of you already thinking to yourselves, what about those of us who subscribe to the idea that we are not restricted to the 5 physical senses? You know, there are more senses that we can partake of from the metaphysical. Yes, and these other senses would make a great topic on their own, but for now, let's concentrate solely on the 5 physical senses that most people use daily. Can you imagine each one of us using these 5 senses as being our own little satellite dishes that we have created to receive signals from outside of our individual bodies, transferring the data to our brain where it can be categorized, filed, stored for further use? You know, I wouldn't think that this would be very difficult to imagine for us, seeing as how we use this type of mechanisms daily with our phones, our computers, and the entertainment streams that we use. Just think of it. We can now think of ourselves as walking, talking transmitters and receivers. Yet, and there's always a yet, are we evaluating every signal that is being picked up by our senses, or these little satellite dishes that we have? And as we make attempts to evaluate or filter all of this steady streaming data that is blasting towards us through our day, from what perspective are we choosing to view it and categorize this data which we gather from our perception? As I've mentioned before, there are so many perspectives to choose from. We have the ability and the opportunity to determine and use our own perception, which is always on individual occurrence for all of us individually. Which brings me now to a question which was asked of me from the author Neil Donald Walsh, which asks, is it possible that we do not fully understand or realize all that there is to know about ourselves, the understanding of which could change everything? This realization could change our perspective from where we see ourselves and the world around us. This understanding could change our perceptions by only allowing that which resonates with what we choose to be and see. So, now we have presented 2 of the 4 tools that we use to create our reality, which are perspective and our perceptions. I see that we again are going to need more time to unwrap this topic. So, for time's sake, let's close for now and be back here next week to continue with the next facet of reality called experiences. This will be fun. Have a wonderful week, and if you feel that someone you know can benefit from this dialogue, please share with them, because I would like to hear how this topic is showing up in you. That's because I care about you. You are important to me. I desire for you to be important to you. This is Daniel Leahy saying bye for now.